All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Live from the Man Cave. I am your host tonight, Luther Harris. I'm with my co-host tonight, Michael McGrill. We are here. We're gonna do just a quick convention recap. We just had convention in Las Vegas. It was phenomenal. We have a couple new business builders, even just on this call. Couple guys who decided once they got to convention that, hey, I'm in it. My wife has been doing it for a while, but now I'm in it. And so we're going to talk a little bit tonight about why, like why that is, and what are those things that kind of spurred us along during convention. So I'm going to start with Michael tonight. Michael's going to give just a couple quick convention takeaways. And then Clint's gonna give a couple quick convention takeaways. Then I'm gonna give a couple quick convention takeaways. And then anybody else who was at convention that may want to say something, they'll have a chance to say something. I'll end it. I'll close out the call and we'll be done. So real quick call tonight, and we're gonna jump right in. So Michael, take it away, brother.
Hey, I love quick. First and foremost, out of curiosity, who was at convention? I know I saw Clint walking around. We got awesome. If who was there for their first convention this year? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. The first convention that my wife and I went to, we actually took a picture of her on the bed with a hat over her head and like all of the swag just like it blew up in the bedroom. The amount of stuff that you take in at a convention is incredible. And this was actually, I think, the sixth or seventh that I've been to now. Um, I've gotten to the point I try and take away no more than three things from convention, right? Let's keep it like we're eating an elephant, we're just gonna take a couple bites. First and foremost, the probably one of the greatest things that I took away was good friend Juana Slavin. If anybody knows her, she is just she's a great soul, a great spirit. Her husband, Josh Diamond, her son Zach, 22, Sapphire. I mean, how cool is that? But the little moments of convention when she came up and she said, "When are you going to quit being a little fish and be a shark like me?" Wow, like, and it just, I mean, yeah, I can be called out. I'll be open to that. I'll own it. Because the truth is, when we were in the man cave session, I think one of the big things that was taken away, like maybe we do need our own thing, but there are women in this company that are phenomenal at what they do. I don't care. I got five sisters. You guys that know my story, you know I had six moms growing up. Like I am a mama's boy. I will learn from anybody. I will learn anything. I'll apply anything. But when it comes to a time and place for the men to get together and do the things, we were talking in the man cave. And the guys are like, look, man, just find your people, go do it. You know, hold my beer was what was actually said. Hold my pink drink is what it converted to on Facebook. Guys, we can do this. We were on a team call, I think it was yesterday morning, and one of the I think she's Emerald. Luther, correct me if I'm wrong. Caitlin, I think she's an Emerald. We were talking about convention, and she's like, I look around and I see my husband, and he's working really hard and he makes good money. And I'm looking at myself and I make really good money. But he's out there working in 100-degree heat, sweating his butt off, and I'm in here in a Zoom call and I'm making more money than him, and it doesn't seem fair. And I was like, all right, so we've got leaders in the company that will openly tell us, look, one, this is for us. And there's never been a doubt this is for us. Clint, I've known you for a while. I've met you at a number of events. Like, there is no doubt this is for us. But seeing the men walk across the stage, feeling the vibe and having the ambassadors really led this convention. It felt a little bit different. I don't know if anybody else caught that. It felt kind of like a slow burn, but like you're lighting up a bonfire, and that bonfire is about 15 feet tall and it's just getting started. Um, and so I mean, when it comes down to it, my big takeaway on this one is just simply grab the people and go. Quit looking around. Quit wondering who's just grab two or three friends. You don't need You don't need 20. You don't need 20 level ones. You don't need 30 level ones. I'm the guy that didn't have the example. I think I had like 35 level ones order last month. That's cool. You know how many of them duplicated? One. So going to convention, be a big shark, be a shark. Go out there, grab a couple, tell them to grab a few, set the example, and you don't have to work so hard. I think that was probably the biggest thing. You have to have a plan. This isn't accidental, but we're not getting shot at. Like, that's nice. Uh, we still have, I hope everybody has food on the table. If you don't, we had a couple that donated $21,000 out of the kindness of their heart. And for the rest of that story, so corporate came in and said, hey, we're going to go ahead and cover that for you. They said, no, no, this is in our dad's honor. So they donated and corporate donated. The total money that was contributed to helping hunger in the Las Vegas area, I think it was in the ballpark of like $70,000. We're in the right place. We are in the right place. We have the right people. The community is phenomenal. I had so many takeaways, but that was it. Oh, I say that. No, the one other takeaway that I wanted to bring to you, if you have a system and it's not written down, you don't have a system. Your people should know exactly where to go, how to get the information, how to do everything so that when you're on Leaders Retreat and when you're on Emerald Extravaganza, when you're at convention, they have the resources in their back pocket so that they know where to look so that they can teach other people how to duplicate in your absence. The Go app is loaded. Convention Conversations 2, Convention Conversations. If you can remember that, put that in the search in the Go app. Take a look at that. That is your system. That is all that you need. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I could go on just because like I'm still wrapping my head around this all. I'm going through my notes. I've asked multiple people in my level 1 downline who is with me, and I'll tell you in the past 2 days I've had at least 3, I think 4. She'd been drinking a little bit, but I think I had at least 3 who said, I am with you. I'm going to earn the cruise. We can do this, guys. Be the leader that you want, and you're going to love it. That's all I got.
Man, I love it. I love it, man. Be the leader. Be the leader. All right, Clint, your turn, brother.
Yeah. We'll keep this meeting short, right? It's so easy to go along. Michael, you gave a great overview. I'm not going to talk overview. You crushed it. You nailed it. This is, I think, my 9th convention. Been in this, doing it quite a while, loving it. I'm an engineer. I'm a systems engineer. So I love the details. I love the how. But what I've realized over the years of Plexus is me thinking I know how to do this hasn't always turned out to be duplicatable and build, right? I don't have the retention, the duplication. So that's where. So I walked into this convention, honestly, praying, God, show up, show me what I need, show me where I need to focus. And I'm really clear on what I want to accomplish. I'm really clear on where I want to go. I'm not always as clear about how I'm going to get there. So I decided this convention, that's up to God. I don't need to know the how. I just need to know why and where. God will help me with the how and the details. But I'm a detail guy, so I'm going to talk about a few things, but I've been in Plexus 8-9 years, a few things that are logistics. How do you do it? What were those nuggets? What were those? I can act on this. One of them, when you add all those people like Michael's adding, what do? How do you get them to duplicate? Well, one thing that I heard over and over was get them to share, get them to post. And if you can get them to post, even if they don't want to post, say, hey, will you do it for me? They'll usually do it for you. So when they first order, get them to post if you can. Because even if they don't want a business, their friends are going to ask them, hey, what are you doing? So that's a good way. When they get their products, have them post with their products. That's time 2. The third time is when they start seeing the benefits, saying, man, you're loving this. Who do you know that also needs to hear about this? Will you share? If you get people to share, it's like the magic sauce. So be persistent on that. Not everybody will, but that's part of the key to get people to duplicate. Get them to post. If they won't do it for themselves, let them do it for you. The one line that somebody had is, if you knew how many people in Plexus make $100,000? A lot. How many make $1 million a year? A lot, right? And somebody said on there that if you knew there was $1 million, even $100,000 in an Easter egg in a dumpster, wouldn't you go and dig in that dumpster and do what it took to find that Easter egg? I mean, you'd get in the muck. You wouldn't care what people were saying about you as they walked by, because, man, I'm going to find that 100,000. I'm going to find that million. We're sitting on that Easter egg, people. We know it's possible. Look at the Rainies. Look at all our uplines. They're all making big bucks. We can do that. We are equipped to do that. Knowing that we can do that, why are we letting no's bother us? Why are we letting people's opinions of us bother us? Right? That was be the big shark, like Michael said, right? Stop worrying about all the other people. There's $1 million Easter egg. There's gold buried in your backyard. Are you going to stop digging? No, you're going to find it. So don't give up. I got another one. We're men here, right? We all have different situations going on. We have spouses. Some of them may be working the business. Some of them may not be working the business. We have families. Kyle talked about personal visions, couple visions, and family visions. It's really important. If you're not aligned with your spouse on where you're going, you may take them somewhere they don't want to be. Or all of a sudden you're going to find resistance where I'm doing this. Well, how does that help us? If you're not aligned in that, there's a lot of resistance that can happen. And so really understanding and taking that time to determine what your vision is and making sure it aligns with your spouse, and then bring the family into it. Absolutely critical. And then Victor, during the man cave, the man part, he talked about dollars. I mean, we're men, right? We're taking care of our families. We got to show up with the money a lot of times. He talked about the dollars devaluing. What has value right now? Assets. Assets have value. What can we control? We can control our income. We can make more money. People that are just getting 2% raises each year, they're not keeping up. They're going backwards. We have the ability to increase our income, to buy assets, to do the things that will, it's said in here, our great grandchildren are relying on us. They're not even born yet. Our success is going to have legacy impact. The things we do right now. And when you think about your why are you doing this? Man, I was balling when I thought about my great grandkids. I'm going to have an impact on their lives because of the things I'm able to do for this family right now. Just like Michael, I could go on and on and on, but those are some mechanics, logistics, things that I felt are going to move the needle in my business on getting into action. Like Michael, I've added a ton of level ones, and Genevieve slapped me in the face at Gold School. She's like, you're just making yourself a job. I'm like, I am. I'm just making myself a job, not a business. And I was like, oh, I got all these level ones. You got another job, Clint. You got a day job, and now you got another job. I'm like, I don't want a job. I want to find those 4. And I'm going to say this is because I think all of us have this, the 4-step process. You got to know where you're going. You got to tell people, hey, here's where I'm going. And then you have to say, this is incredible. Here's why you'd be good at this with me. And then say, hey, would you be open to conversation? So paint the vision for them. This is where I'm going. I'd love for you to do this with me. Will you do it? And here's why you'd be amazing at it. I'm going to have bolder conversations. I've heard for years, focus on the business. Like, how do you do that? It's so easy to, I don't want to say it's easy to get product people, but it's not that hard to get product people, but they fall off. Honestly, I walked away from convention saying, this is going to sound rude. It's going to sound mean. It's going to sound terrible. But in 9 years, I don't actually care if you take the products. I don't care. The business is so good and the opportunity is so amazing that I know you'll take the products. I know you'll love the products. just get on board and do the business, because you'll love the products and it'll change your life. I mean, that's the type of posture that I'm walking away from this convention with that I didn't have prior. So, Luther, better take it away before I keep on talking.
Man, 9 years in and the perspective, dude. I appreciate you so much. Appreciate you so much. All right, y'all. So it's that time of the call where Luther takes over, and I'm just gonna be real with y'all today, man. My takeaway is hard. It's been hard for me, but it's real and it's simple. Michael alluded to a little bit of it earlier. He said we're called to be the leaders in our homes, right? As men, we are called to be the spiritual leader. We're called to be the physical leader. We are called to be the emotional leader. Like, we're called to be the leader, but check this, right? Like, we're also called to be the visionary of our homes. Are we not? Right? Our families will go where we, right, through our prayer and our devotion, right, like where the Spirit is leading us, that's where our family is going, right? And so we're called to be the visionary leaders in our homes. Like, we're called to be the leader, all-encompassing leader of our homes. So my question to all of the men on this call and all the men that will watch this call is, what is your excuse? That's what I walked away with. It's that simple. What's your excuse? After listening to James Lawrence, I was done. I cried 4 times during this speech. You know why? Because I realized that the stuff I'm telling myself is excuses. And the name of our team is Team No Excuses, right? So I'm on Team No Excuses, the team name that we came up with. Walk around with excuses, right? Walk around with self-doubt. Walk around with limiting thoughts. Walk around with all these things. But the reason we named our team No Excuses is because we have to live our lives with no excuses. So ask yourself this: what is the thing that what is the lie, not the thing? What is the lie that you're telling yourself that's preventing you from going all in? Right? I was talking to Tyler right before I hit the record button. Like, what is the lie that you're telling yourself that's preventing you from doing the reach outs? What is the lie that you're telling yourself that's preventing you from doing the post? What's the lie that you're telling yourself that's preventing you from talking about the business? What's that thing that you're lying? What's the excuse? Because it's in there, but it's not true. It's not true at all, right? We will go where our minds and our actions take us. Your belief will dictate your behavior. So if you're not willing to move, it's because you don't believe you can. That's real. If you don't move, it's because you don't believe you can. So you got to give yourself a different belief. You got to give yourself different ammo, because the ammo that you got right now is wet and it's not working. You have to believe. And what it is that whole saying that if you believe, you can achieve, right? Like, I thought it was so cliche, but it's real, y'all. Our beliefs dictate our behaviors. And so when I'm sitting here struggling to do a reach out, or I'm struggling to do a post because I want it to be perfect or whatever, what I've realized now after this convention is the reason that I'm struggling, or the reason I'm procrastinating, is because maybe I don't believe enough in myself. And so how do I get out of that? How do I break that pattern that none of us as men want to talk about, right? Like, nobody wants to get in front of other men and be like, dog, I'm sorry, I have self-doubt. I have insecurity. Like, nobody wants to be that vulnerable, right? Like, everybody, that's uncomfortable, but it's real, y'all. And we sit and we suffer in silence because we don't want anybody to know we're struggling. But I'm gonna let y'all know something. I lean on y'all because I struggle. I come to these calls and I want to run these calls on Thursday nights because I struggle. And I need to be around other men who are doing this business, and so that we all know that we're in here together. But if we are going to live out these visions, we got to have vision belief, right? If we're going to diamond, which we are going to diamond. We got to have diamond belief, but diamond belief dictates diamond behavior. That's just real, right? You can't get the diamond doing what rubies do. And that's where I am, right? Sit here, Ruby ambassador, and I want to be diamond. If I keep doing what rubies do, I'm going to keep being a ruby. If I want to be a diamond, I got to do what diamonds do. Period. It's that simple. So the question tonight is, what's your excuse and what are you willing to do and who are you willing to become to get over it? That simple. Period. Right? And once we discover that, we'll have impenetrable belief in these products. All of us know the products work. And all of us have seen the business work. But I think we see the business work for other people and go, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's cool. Man, that's really cool, man. And like there's this little bully, like James said, right? There's this little bully in our head that goes, you'll never get there. That's it. Man, you can't do that. Reach out. Those people, they're not gonna respond. So don't do it. Oh, you can't have that conversation with that person over there because they not ready to hear what you. Oh, you know that person needs help with X, Y, and Z, and you know you got something to help, but they don't really want what you got, so don't even bother sharing. We know that bully, and we know exactly what he's gonna say. So you know what? Block him out. Do it anyway. Do it scared, and move forward. And the more you do it scared, the less scared you get. And so my encouragement to y'all tonight is figure out what your excuse is. Figure out the lies that you've been telling yourself and deal with it. Sit in it. Pray about it. Right? We have not been given a spirit of fear or anxiety. So what are we fearful of and why are we anxious? That's real. That's real. And so, like I said, tonight, I wanted to keep this call short. I'm dropping a link. If you did not get a chance to watch it, I know there are a couple of people on this call who weren't at convention. I just dropped the link to James's speech in the chat. Next week's call is going to be a little bit different, but I want you to watch that at least 3 times before next week's call. And for those who are at convention, you know exactly why. You know exactly why I want you to watch it 3 times. But I'm committing to doing it too. Because here's the reality. If this man can run 50 Ironmans in 50 days in 50 different states and then follow that up with 100 Ironmans to raise money for a cause that he's passionate about, why can't we do this business like our families' lives dependent on it? Because they do. But I got a real job and my family relies on the real job. Yeah, but they also rely on your presence. They rely on your presence too. And so if there is a means for me to be more present with my family, to be more present with my wife, to be more present with my kids, and still be able to provide a life at the same time helping other people do the same, why in the world would I not do that? It makes no sense for me to not at least consider it, let alone jump all in, both feet. And I can't swim, but I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in head first. Right? Because my family's worth it. My children are worth it. My wife's worth it. My children's children are worth it. And their children are worth it. Period. There is no excuse. We have to do this because our families' lives depend on it. Right? My kids depend on my presence. Currently, I work a 9 to 5. That means I'm gone for hours. What good am I to them away from them? Oh, I'm providing. Cool. But you're not present. That's convicting for me. That's convicting for me. And so I'm gonna let y'all go tonight. But here, like, figure out what the excuse. This convention was so formative for me. Because I've already seen 2 guys reach out to me, hey man, I'm jumping all in with my wife. That's super exciting for me, right? Because there's two more guys in this brotherhood who are like, hey, I see the vision. I know what this can provide long term for my family, and I'm willing to do what it takes to get there. And if we all take that stance together, bro, ain't nothing anybody can do to stop us. Nothing. So I wish you guys a good night. Next Thursday, we are back in the man cave. Bring your friends. Bring your friends. If everybody brings one friend, we double the call. And the next week, if everybody brings another friend, guess what? We double the call again. So let's do this together. Let's wrap arms around each other. Let's be vulnerable. And let's take it to the top, fellas. All right. With that, y'all have a good night. Happy Thursday. Great convention recap. We'll see y'all next week. See y'all next week. Y'all have a good night.